Hello, my name is Patricia, and I want to share my experience of a foreigner, an American, going to Pakistan. My experience going for the first time, um, and in this video, it's really going to be on my way there, not necessarily in Pakistan, because it's a very interesting, at least to me, it's an interesting story. From the United States, coming from Ohio to Chicago to Abu Dhabi, and then to Lahore in Pakistan. So, alone, by myself. And of course, my family thinks it's dangerous. I was going to go see my husband. At the time, we weren't married, but we're married now. We were just engaged, and I was going to go visit him. And at the, it's really difficult for a lot of people to, unless you're from like Europe, it's difficult for foreign people to come to the United States unless they're doing like education. It's very hard for people to come visit. It takes like, if a Pakistani person wants to come to the United States to visit somebody, it would take about, I guess, maybe 10 years. And chances it'll just get denied and not even be able to come. So I was going to go visit him and his family. I didn't really get anybody to come with me, and plus, I wanted to go to Pakistan ASAP. I was only there for 2 weeks. So here's my story of the adventure. And this wasn't the first time I traveled, so I've been to a couple countries, so it wasn't that big a deal for me to go to another country. And I had never actually been to any, most countries I've been to were developing countries, so it wasn't that big a deal. I hadn't even been to Europe or, fun places. Brazil is fun. I did go to Brazil, but I guess it's still maybe considered developing. I'm not really sure. But anyway, so I got ready, put on my little clothes, had on like a red shirt. I guess it's important to know that, you're going to a Muslim country, and people's main concerns, especially for a woman, is that, how you're dressing and what you're looking like. And there's a lot of misconceptions about Pakistan and all Muslim countries, as if every single Muslim country is exactly the same. You hear a statistic or some type of story in Saudi Arabia, and you assume that every single Muslim country is like that. And it's really not. And this is speaking from somebody who's Christian, and my husband's also Christian, so this isn't like some bias type of, once you go there, it's not exactly what you think. Every country is different. Every country has different cultures, and so certain places, you're going to find the extreme way of life and this stereotypical, scary. I've never been to those places, and there's places like that in Pakistan, but it's not the law. Some of these things that, you might have an idea of. So I traveled alone. Being black made it a little, maybe made it a little easy because I have dark skin, and nobody cares about you if you're black when you're traveling. No one cares. They don't think you have money, so they don't care. Even though living in the United States, have a black president, America, you'll think it'd be worth something, but to the world now, you're still not, you're not really worth that much. So I left to go to Chicago. I got to Chicago. I went into the check-in line to get my ticket. Now I was in line. I was going to forgot the flight, but it was like an Arab type of flight. It was so nice, very bougie, very bourgeois. I can't remember which one it was, but it's a very common one. And I went in line. There was a couple other, I don't know if everybody in line was Pakistani. I can't remember. It was a couple years ago. But a lot of people, obviously, I was in a line to go to that part of the world. So most of the people in line were, maybe Indian, Pakistani, somewhere in the Middle East, heading that direction. There was a man I saw there, and I was standing in line. I kind of looked at him. I was like, he kind of looked, black. African Americans in the United States have a lot of different mixtures, so we can kind of look like a lot of different things come really dark, and you have some moderation. So I looked at this guy. I was like, oh, he kind of look black. Maybe I can pretend he's my dad for some reason. My mind is I just have this crazy imagination. I just thought of that. He was talking to this white guy. He was just talking about his daughter, and she was a fashion designer in some place. I don't know where. I think somewhere in Lahore. I was like, oh, that's so nice. Look, people think Muslims are all bad because, maybe they beat their daughters and wives. But this guy's daughter is a fashion designer. Okay, so, that's not the stereotype you should be focusing on. Everybody's different. It's based on the family. So we went in. This guy's important. That's why I'm mentioning him. And so we went through the line. I got my ticket. And so I go up and find my station where I'm supposed to be waiting for my plane. And this trip took the whole trip altogether took about 23 hours. So that includes waiting, and that includes, transitioning. So I went to 3 places. United States, really 4. So Ohio to Chicago, Chicago to Abu Dhabi, Abu Dhabi to Lahore. So, 3 different countries to get to my destination. So I sat down. Most of the people around me were Pakistani, somewhere in the Middle East, and I kind of sat down. A lot of people, I'm a foreigner. They can see that I'm about to go to where they're going, and people are very curious. And so a lot of people were talking to me. First guy I talked to was a man. He lived in Chicago. He's a Pakistani man, maybe in his 40s, and he was just talking to me and asking me, so where are you going? I'm like, oh, I'm going to Lahore to visit my fiance. Like, oh, well, Lahore, that's a good place to go. So I got that a lot at the airport. Everybody's just, oh yes, Lahore. That's a good place. Karachi, Lahore, yes, those are good places to go. I was like, okay. And we sat and we talked. I talked with this man. He was just telling me about his sons. One of his sons were like handicapped or something, and he was going to Karachi or Islamabad to go take care. And his father had just passed away, so he was going to bury his father. I don't think they bury people over there, but you get the point. And so we kind of talked a little bit, like I said, people were very interested to know why I was going to Pakistan. And the seating areas start to fill up. He left because he had to go to the bathroom or something. And I had noticed there were some women sitting over in one area. And this could just be me. I asked my husband. I'm not really sure. Maybe this is a foreigner's perspective. Maybe this only happens to foreign women. And I noticed that some of the women who were sitting over there came sitting by me. And before I knew, I was surrounded by a bunch of women. No men were sitting by me anymore. I was sitting with a bunch of women. One woman who sat next to me where the guy was sitting, she was from Saudi Arabia. She was like this rich woman who was coming from California to visit her daughter. Her daughter married some white guy, and they had kids, and she was sitting next to me, very friendly, very nice. Just wondering, oh, what are you doing? Going to Lahore? Oh, I heard, Lahore's a good place to visit. It's very safe, very good. I'm like, okay, thank you. I learned one thing. A lot of people from Saudi Arabia are rich. This woman is definitely rich. She was talking about her liposuction. This girl just opened up to me. The people over there, they're very open. They're very open people. She just went through her little iPhone and started showing me what she looked like when she used to be fat. And just started scrolling down, letting me see her grandbabies. And, I never really experienced that in the United States when people from that part of the world being very open. But I guess when you're around their people or something like they're very open and very, friendly. Maybe you're in the United States and it's kind of hard for them to open up to you unless you're in their space. But once you get in their space, They're really friendly. Everybody's talking to you. I met another woman. She was going to Karachi for a wedding, something like that. Yeah, I ended up seeing her when I came back. I ended up seeing her. She was on the same flight again. So very friendly. Everybody kept telling me Lahore, Karachi, those are good places to go. That's the place to go. So I'm like, okay, that's good. I've never been to Pakistan. I don't know that much about it. I did go on YouTube to try to see if I could find somebody who was had some information on it, or people who've been there, and I really didn't find anything on foreigners. Obviously, I found a blog online, but I didn't really find that many things, and I need something to make me feel comfortable about going. But I felt fine. So we flew. It was a very comfortable flight going to Abu Dhabi. The airline was beautiful. The food was great. I had the whole seating area to myself. It was just a very emotional time. And it was just very cool, very comfortable. Just watching the time pass. It would be like dark, and then like an hour will be day, and then it'll get dark again, because you're kind of switching through timelines, or not timelines, but time is different, so it's weird. So anyways, we finally get to Abu Dhabi. Very tired. I see the man I talked to with the kid who was handicapped, and he kind of helped me get to my place where I was going. He's very friendly and very helpful. And we get through the check line, and we get to Abu Dhabi. There's all sorts of people. Like when you go to international airports, you see people from all over the world, especially when you go to certain parts of the airport. You'll hear like all this different languages, in the United States, when you go to different places in the airport. But here it was like totally different. It was like this was a whole nother part of the world, and it was so diverse, different people from all over the world. From Asia, from the Middle East. This was like middle ground where everybody transit to different places. I'm pretty sure most people weren't there for Abu Dhabi. It might have been. Seems like Abu Dhabi is like a good place to come visit and chill. So he departs from me, says goodbye, telling me to have a good time. I'm like, okay. So I found my seating area for my last ride to Lahore, to my final destination. So I go over. Everybody, obviously, this is probably everybody's final destination. For the most part, everyone is sitting down. I probably got like another hour. I didn't really have to wait that long. So this is when my story is interesting. So I go into the seating area. I just sit down. I'm not really thinking about the people who are around me. I understand the culture a little bit, but I'm at an airport with different people. I don't think culture should really matter, because we're in an international airport with so many different people. Why the heck would you care how other people feel, about cultures? Because, how are you supposed to know where, anyways. So I just sit myself down in the seat. I didn't even pay attention to who I sat next to. I knew I was sitting around a bunch of men. Most of them kind of looked very, they had on like Western clothes. They were chilled out. But over to my left, I was looking. I noticed one of the men. It was three guys I saw, and they were dressed in like traditional Pakistani clothes. And one of the men sitting in the middle started saying something very loudly. I don't know what he said, because I don't speak Urdu or Punjabi or whatever language he was speaking, but he was speaking very loudly, and it would sound like he was worshiping or praying. I'm not really sure, but I think it had something to do with the fact that I was sitting right next to them. And I don't know what he said, but it was kind of like a prayer or something. I'm not really sure. Maybe I was just paranoid. I really wasn't paranoid. If I was paranoid, I wouldn't sit next to these people, right? Right. I didn't even think about it. I just sat down. And one of the guys next to me, I think he was a priest or a holy man, because the guy next to him got up, went down to his feet. And I didn't want to look directly at them. I just kind of noticed what was going on, but I really didn't want to look, because I didn't want to be offensive or whatever. He went down, touched his feet, did something. I know my husband had showed me videos of holy men. I mean, people think they're holy, like they're so precious and, like almost, I wouldn't say like gods, but they're just very holy, and people, almost worship them and give them so much of their, I don't know why. I didn't. But the guy touched his feet and he was like saying something like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he's saying like, what the F is this woman doing over here sitting next to me? So I quickly, no, not quickly, but I just got my purse, my things. I got up and I walked away. I'm like, okay. And I kind of played it off like, I'm just going to go to the restroom or something. So I walk out of the seating area. And I'm like terrified a little bit. I'm like, what the heck did I just do? I noticed that the women all were sitting over in another area, and I'm pretty sure it's an unspoken rule. It wasn't like, hello, welcome to Abu Dhabi. This is the men's section over here. And over here, this is women's sit. No, people, this is their culture. So it's like an unwritten rule. Like, people just know not to be sitting around a bunch of men, and men need to be over here. Women need to be over here. And I mean, the reasons they do that, a lot of it has to do with how they feel like they should honor and respect women, and they don't want men over there staring and touching them, and that's one outlook on it. But it looks like I don't know. I was wearing jeans and a red shirt. It was a very thick shirt, so it wasn't very revealing and tight. I thought it looked cute, but it really didn't look cute at all. So I got up, walked away. I feel weird. I noticed one of the guys walked up and he was following me. I'm like, what the? As I was walking, I noticed the guy I saw in Chicago when he was talking to the white guy about his daughter, who was the fashion designer in school. And I was the one I was like, oh, he kind of looks black. Maybe he can pass as my dad or something. I saw him, and I remember him talking to the white guy about going to Lahore. So I decided to walk up to him and go, hi. He says, oh, hello. And I'm like, are you going to Lahore? I think I heard that you were talking with somebody about going to Lahore. He's like, yo, yes, I'm going to Lahore. I'm like, I can't find the place, like where the place is where I sit, the checkout line. I don't even know what it is. Can you help me? He's, oh, of course I should help you. And then so he walked me over to the place I just left. He walked me to like the other side of it, and I walked, and the guy who was following me was stopped, and he was just kind of stand still and just kind of just watched us walk by. I don't know. Maybe this is just an issue with me. Maybe I'm that stupid. So if you're traveling to Pakistan, I guess this is good to or any Middle Eastern or Asian country where there's mostly Muslims there. You can kind of get an idea what is, what you should do, what you should look out for. So dang, it's a long video. So I go and we sit down together. And I kind of mentioned to him, like, look, I think a guy was following me. I sat down to these guys, and he followed me over here. And he's like, oh, no, he probably just trying to get your number. A lot of men, they see foreign girls, they want to get your phone number and want to talk to you. I'm like, that is not why he was following me. But, I'm like, oh, okay. And I just kind of, like, wiped it off. I'm like, I don't want to keep talking about this. As long as I'm sitting with you, I'm fine. So this is the end of the story, and I don't really need to explain anything else and try to convince him. But guy was trying to follow me, and I'm pretty sure he didn't want my number. So anyways, we get on the plane. Him and he got that guy with the holy man with his two friends. There was like two other guys who came up, and I swear they looked like they came out of Osama bin Laden's cave. That's how they was dressed. That's what they looked like. They looked very, I don't know if it was like tribal. I don't know if they were like from Afghanistan, because they didn't really look Pakistani to me. Especially one of the other guys. He was kind of cute, who was with the holy man. He had like this really pretty curly hair. But I don't think, now I'm thinking about it and been to Pakistan and seen the people, they didn't look 100% like Pakistanis. I'm not really sure. But so we get on the plane. The next thing that happens that I noticed that was strange, kind of made me put two and two together with the whole female kind of sitting around you. So I take my seat. The guy notices me. He tells me once we get to Lahore, he'll point me in the right direction and he'll stay with me until my people find me. I'm like, great, thank you so much. He was seated somewhere else. I was really hoping we were going to sit together, but we were not. So I sat in the area and I was the only girl in the row. I don't know if I was sitting in the middle or on the side. I don't remember. I think I was on the, I don't remember. So we were all seated. One thing I did notice, I don't know if it was just me. So there was these two Saudi Arabian girls. They probably was like 21, 18. Who kind of talked to the stewardess and kind of like pointed at us, and then so the stewardess came and asked the men to get up and if they will move, and she set the two girls by me. And so the girls just kind of chilled out and they pulled their laptops out, asked me how I was and where I was coming from, and you know, where I was visiting. I was like, oh, I'm going to Lahore. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And they pulled out their little laptops and did their homework. They were in college, and I can tell they were rich because they had, you know, nice little Macintosh laptops. You know, I can't still afford Macintosh laptop. Apple. And, you know, they had like nice name brand clothes, and, you know, they had their hijab on, but they was looking fancy, okay? They was bougie. So the rest of the trip was fine. I noticed the guys I got on the plane with were not paying attention to me. They didn't even care about me anymore. I got to Lahore, went through the immigration line, got checked through. The guy who said wait for me, he was waiting for me. He pulled me in over to where the luggage was, got my luggage. My fiance's brother was right outside, and he came and got me. I was so happy. Told the guy thank you, and I was gone. And so that is the end of my story, and that was a very long story. But that is my experience. If you're traveling to Pakistan and you never been there before, you can take some advice. If you're a woman traveling by yourself, it is very smart to just, if you see a bunch of women, or if you just see one woman, just sit near where she's sitting. And that's pretty much it. I mean, and dress appropriately. You don't have to wear a hijab. You don't have to, if you're going to Lahore, if you're going to like these big cities, Lahore and Karachi and Islamabad, places like that, you don't have to be covered up because they're very modern over there. It's like you'll see a lot of traditional and modern things all in one, or, you know, old time ways and new time ways, new ways going on. So you just need to dress appropriate, probably just normal. People wear jeans over there. Typically they just wear something really long that their butt's not showing. That's it. So people are comfortable there. People are cool there. So maybe in another video I will go and talk about my experience in Lahore when I was there. Just to let you know, the rest of the story was fine. I had a really good time. I didn't experience anything, probably because I was with a Pakistani family who knew where everything was. And, you know, I did have a little problem. But it had nothing to do with the culture. Actually, it does kind of have to do with the culture a little bit. But anyways, thank you for listening, and have fun if you're going to Pakistan, or if you're just listening to this because you just want to know. Bye.